Perfection looks peaceful from a distance. Clean, controlled, put together, everything in its place. Nothing out of line. From the outside, it looks like discipline, like someone who has everything figured out. But up close, it suffocates. Because perfection is not calm. It is pressure, disguised as control. It's the constant need to get it right. The constant need to avoid mistakes. The constant need to maintain an image that never slips. And that pressure doesn't show itself loudly. It shows up quietly, in hesitation, in overthinking, in delaying action because something isn't ready yet. Perfection doesn't stop you by blocking you. It slows you down until you stop yourself. And most people don't even realize it's happening because it feels productive. It feels like preparation, like refining, like getting things right. But underneath that, there's fear. Fear of doing it wrong. Fear of being seen before it's perfect. Fear of effort not matching the outcome. And that fear builds early, in environments where mistakes were noticed more than progress, where being right mattered more than trying, where outcomes carried weight. So the mind learned something simple. Don't risk imperfection. So instead of moving forward, it tightens control. It slows decisions. It filters actions. It raises the standard to a level that delays movement. And over time, that becomes the pattern. Not failure, not lack of effort, just delay. Because perfection creates a condition. I'll move when it's right. I'll act when it's ready. I'll start when I know it will work. And that condition is never fully met. So movement never fully happens. It's like trying to take a step forward, but only allowing yourself to move when the ground is guaranteed not to shift. So you stand still, not because you can't walk, but because you won't move without certainty. And that's where perfection traps you. Not in failure, but in hesitation. Because real progress is not clean. It's messy. It's uneven. It's inconsistent. And perfection rejects all of that. So it rejects progress. Now here's where this matters. Because if perfection is the problem, then control alone won't fix it. You don't solve perfection by trying harder. You solve it by changing how you relate to action. So first, you have to separate effort from outcome. Most people link the two. If I do it right, it should work. If I put effort in, it should show results. But that expectation is what creates pressure. Because now every action has to prove something. Instead of being part of a process, it becomes a test. So the first shift is this. Act without requiring the result to validate you. Do the work without needing it to immediately show something back. Because the moment your effort is tied to outcome, perfection takes control. Next, you have to lower the standard for starting. Not for finishing, for starting. Because most people don't struggle with ability. They struggle with initiation. They hesitate at the beginning, because the beginning doesn't match the vision. So they delay. They think more. They plan more. They wait. But the beginning is not supposed to match the vision. It's supposed to look incomplete. So the second shift is simple. Start before it looks right. Move before it feels ready. Because readiness is not what creates progress. Movement is. Third, you have to allow yourself to be seen before you're fully refined. This is where most people get stuck. Because perfection is not just internal. It's external. It's about how things are perceived. So people hold back. They don't post. They don't share. They don't act publicly. Because it's not there yet. But nothing becomes strong in private forever. At some point, it has to be exposed. So the third shift is this. Allow imperfect visibility. Be seen while you're still building. Fourth, you have to change how you view mistakes. Right now, mistakes feel like signals to stop, but they are actually signals to adjust. Perfection treats mistakes as failure. Progress treats mistakes as feedback. So instead of asking, was this perfect? You ask, what did this show me? That shift changes everything. Because now nothing is wasted. Every attempt becomes information. Every outcome becomes direction. Fifth, you have to build tolerance for unfinished work. Because perfection wants closure, but progress stays in motion. So get comfortable leaving things in progress. Because perfection waits for completion. Progress moves through incompletion. And once you see that clearly, you stop trying to control everything. You start allowing movement again. Because perfection looks peaceful from a distance. But up close, It's constant pressure. And when you release that, you don't become careless. You become effective. Because now you're moving. Not perfectly, but consistently. And that's what actually creates results.